Welcome, fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod, and happy Friday. Let's get it. In today's show, we'll be discussing Bitcoin ETF inflows recover as Bitcoin price currently near 51,000 support. We'll also be discussing former U.S. President Trump, no longer anti-Bitcoin, says he can live with it in a recent press just the other night. We'll also be discussing the European Central Bank officials blasting Bitcoin. They say the fair value of Bitcoin is still zero, even after the ETF approval. We'll also be discussing the Giga Chad Michael Saylor says he will be buying Bitcoin forever. It's going up forever, Laura. Here's why. We'll also be discussing Tom Lee says Bitcoin is sound money, naming 3 reasons why Bitcoin will tap 150,000 this year in 2024. We'll also be discussing one of the largest asset managers in the world, Fidelity, which controls $4.5 trillion in assets under management. Jurrien suggests that Bitcoin will reach a $6 trillion market cap, but it gets more bullish than that, also predicting Bitcoin to hit $1 billion per coin by the year 2038. I'll be breaking down this bullish prediction from Fidelity. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this, plus so much more in today's show. Now, welcome, crypto fam. Let me know if the stream is loud, clear, and smooth. First and foremost, today is Friday, so let's get it. We're going to have another weekend pump. Let me know. We're currently stuck in the 50 to 51 range. And it's crazy because we're above 50,000, a major psychological resistance. I feel it's a strong support right now, but let's see how this all plays out. I still feel 55,000 is in play and will hit before we know it, considering a halving is around the corner. Shout out to Lisa. Greetings from Utah. Chillin'. Crack knee pumped to 69. Let's get it. Hello from Texas. What up, Junior? Good to see ya. For Lex Hope. Welcome. Leroy Essel. Yes, the likes are free to smash. I greatly appreciate that as it helps pump the stream, family. Loud and clear. Shout out to my brother, Crypto Surge. Zyron. Aloha from Hawaii's OT's Hawaiian Pump Time. Let's get it. Loud and clear, JV. Thank you, family. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to all the new moderators, Jennifer and Surge. Where's Dankness at? Barack Monfils. Good to see you, broski. Welcome to the stream. What up, family? Welcome, Mercy Tube. Where do you get the Bitcoin hats? Well, I do have a merch shop, which could be found at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. But typically, I'll just find them. I'll just search Bitcoin hats and find hats. I probably have a whole closet full, but this one fits me the best. What up, Dirty? Good to see you. What up, Corey JK? Yo, we're live. Weekend has started. That's right. The weekend starts early on Fridays. You already know, family. Speaking of pumping it up. Pump it up. Let's go. Good afternoon. Shout out Freddie W. Bought some new Riot and Marathon Digital today. Congratulations on stocking up on those Bitcoin miners, family. Wishing you nothing but continued success, prosperity, and opulence. Good morning, Darth Melda. The force is strong. Now we know why. She's using the dark side. JV, hello from Michigan. Shout out, Michael. Good to see you, broski. Welcome, everyone just joining the stream. Remember, first and foremost, this is a live and interactive show, so make sure to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm streaming live right now from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. Let's get it. That's right, K-Jam. Shout out to Little Bubble on the track. How we all today? Greetings from the UK. Shout out Matt Baker. Good to see you, broski. NT Korshai. Welcome. Good to see ya. When will the non-coin tap? I don't know what you mean by that. Bitcoin, it up. Love that song. Reminds me of the Fast and the Furious. Nice. The US dollar is up after 80 years. Is it really? At, what is it? 103 only assets. USD never goes down. T-Man. Listening to Texas Hold'em while stacking more sats and hodl. Man, I miss my Texas Hold'em no limit days. JV all in. Let's go. Pennsylvania in the building. Shout out Mick Footinator. That's a pretty cool name. Mick Footinator. It is kombucha day or water day. You still doing side bets? Just water. Today, water. I may do a kombucha this afternoon. We'll see. Gold is at 2,031. Wow, that's up a little. You skipped me. My bad, Jamesito. Not my intention. Sometimes the comments come in flurries, and it's hard to catch it all. Mr. Bone Daddy, good morning, family. All the way from Ethiopia, Mercy Tube. Shout out to my Ethiopia fam. I can't wait to visit. I've never been to Africa, and I'd love to see Ethiopia. NVIDIA had an epic day yesterday. I mean, I did see something historic, like $250 billion gains in their stock, in their market cap, which is unheard of. So what the hell is going on over there? Greetings to Ethiopia, Leroy says. Morning, JV. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Zach Hudson. Marcus, welcome. Everyone tuning in, welcome, welcome. Greatly appreciate y'all. But let's get this show started, shall we? If you're new to the channel, important to smash the subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day like this. Also, equally important to smash the like to show your support, as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Also, yeah, all that good stuff. Today is February 23rd. Happy Friday. And yeah, today's pod episode 1560. I'm your host, JV, and we have a lot to share, so let's break it down. As you can see with our market watch, Bitcoin's hovering at roughly 51,000 over on Coin360. At the time of this live stream, Uni is like the biggest gainer, up a whopping 56%. I don't know what is going on with Uniswap, but that's pretty impressive for 24-hour gains. We also have Ether sitting above 2,900. It did tap 3,000 a few days ago, and is keeps flirting around that price level, while BNB, XRP, Solana, Cardano all pulling back and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're sitting at a 1.95 trillion market cap with 70 billion in volume for the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance back on the decline a little bit at 51.4%. Ether dominance flexing with that 18% dominance. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Uniswap, impressively, as I mentioned earlier, up over 50% on the day with a 6.7 billion market cap, trading at $11.26. Anyone here bullish on Uni? Let me know. Sia Coin also up 13% on the day, as well as Flare up roughly 13%, followed by Flow, ETH, DYDX, and Aave, a decentralized lending protocol. Now, which altcoins, family, are you most bullish on for this particular bull run? Let me know in the comments right down below. And check it out, the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the day. Uni leading the pack clearly. We also have SD up 12% and Flare up 13%, but the majority of the alts currently pulling back and in the red. And zooming out on the monthly, virtually everything is in the green. So as they say, when in doubt, just zoom out. The only things in the red are Monero and Hex. Everything else crushing. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're back at a 76. Extreme Greed is virtually as high as we've seen it in 2 years. We touched 79 about a week ago. Yesterday, 74. Last week is 72. And last month was a neutral at 48. And checking out the Bitcoin halving countdown. The scheduled halving date is set to take place at this time, April 19th, which is only 55 days away. Where do you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to be at the time of the halving? Holla at your boy. JV, you rock. You rock as well on Matrix. You hip hop. Immutable X has been solid, says Mick Footinator. Happy Friday, everyone. Appreciate that. Coming from Ethiopia, Mercy Tube. Cheers. War up, war up. War up. Let's freaking go. BFGC. What is the buy? You got to tell me the initials so I know. BFGC, says Jennifer. All in on Kaspa. If you pump Bitcoin, you will love Kaspa. Bitcoin equals golden cause, says Corey. JK, thank you for sharing. Jamesito says Matthew Witto. That's high, says Bone Daddy. I am bullish on eCash, Bits, Sats, Liquid BTC, and Bitcoin, says Matthew. Cheers. What up, homie? Homie. Shout out Wrench Whisperer. Best usernames ever in crypto. The Wrench Whisperer. My brother, yeah, 100K by the halving. Send it, Jennifer. Now we're talking. Still see it. Bring it. What up, Coos Dog? Pump it up. Yes, pump it up if you came to get a look. Pump it up if your game and went long. Yeah. When the dip hit, you just ape like King Kong. Matt needs a wrench and a star. Yeah, those are for mods. The newest mods are KJam and Jennifer, so they're holding it down. Spot ETF cumulative trading volume exceeds 50 billion. Let's go. Finally stopped raining here in Lake District, UK. Yeah, why is it always raining in the UK? It's like Puerto Rico. I visited London for like I don't know, maybe a week. It rained every day. I'm like, oh my God, it lived up to its expectations. Public searches on Bitcoin is going down. Well, it all depends upon the city, the country, of course. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, for example, in the US, the searches may be low, but we're above $50,000. So who cares? I guess I care. I'm a podcaster. I want more people to find the show, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Shout out from the UK. Glad to be catching a live show. Shout out UK. We got a strong fan base over there. So appreciate you, Jurrien. Shout out to the entire UK fam. Yeah, that's true. So send it, Daddy-O, and let's go. Big effing green candle. I like that. BFGC. Big effing green candle. Now we're talking.
Like King Kong. More than 5 sets in your stack.
Then get it on. 50 billion with a freaking B. Yeah, man. And we're going to be discussing the Bitcoin market cap hitting 6 trillion as far as market cap and a 1 billion price eventually by the year 2038. Officially the most bullish prediction ever shared. And it's by Fidelity, a major asset manager. What's the second best? We got to get Saylor in here.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
That's right. Yeah, shout out Dankness, Sailing with Twins and the OGs. You know, my time schedule is different. It's been different day to day, so no worries. They still pop on. We saw Dankness the other day and Sailing. They were both on the stream. T-Man, 40 to 43K comes. Let's go. No, let's not go. Unless you guys are looking to buy that freaking dip. I'm sorry, I lied. Is the stock market crashes? Will we see a major crash in crypto, JV? I think temporarily, but overall, it's not. Bitcoin is on its own vector, but temporarily it could happen. If everything crashes, I just think of 2020. Like deja vu moment. After COVID, the entire market's crashed. Bitcoin dumped between 3,000 to 4,000 from maybe it was floating between 7 and 10. It went all the way down to 3. I seized the moment, bought that dip. What about you guys? And lo and behold, by 2021, we were 69,000. Let that sink in. Back to KRS.
I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Bada boom, bada bing. But anyways, family, you got that right, Coos Dog. Thank you. There is no second best. 100% on that. Always rains in the UK, but it doesn't rain in the pub. Haha. Always a silver lining. All right, let's check out today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to take us next, shall we? The headline reads, Bitcoin ETF inflows recover as Bitcoin price nears 50,000 support. Here you're looking at the Bitcoin one-day chart. Data from TradingView showed the price action struggling at around 51,000, which we just lost. The bulls remain caught in a narrow trading zone in place for more than a week as concerns surfaced over the inflows to the spot Bitcoin ETFs. These slowed considerably recent days, with February 21st even seeing a net outflow of 36 million as per data from BitMEX research as shared here. Shout out BitMEX, some data in Bitcoin terms, 694 Bitcoin, net outflow February 21st. So February 22nd saw stronger activity, which was yesterday. Net inflows of just over $250,000, even accounting for the outflows from GBTC. Quoting Crypto Slate, normality resumed a 251 million inflow into the Bitcoin ETFs, continuing on the pace of buying from the ETF operators. Thomas Farrer, CEO of crypto focus reviews portal Apollo, predicted that the largest of them, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust IBIT, would in the future change Bitcoin supply dynamics. Quoting him here, 98% of all the Bitcoin in existence already costs $100,000 or less, I guess it's saying here, if you tried to buy it. And he also wrote, remember that the current price is just a marginal trade. BlackRock is going to test this theory, so we'll find out soon enough. F around and find out. Just saying. As of February 23rd, IBIT held 124,000 Bitcoin, valued at $6.35 billion. Like, whoa, they achieved that in less than 2 months, maybe a month and a half. Now, focusing on the low time frame Bitcoin price analysis, Sku captured the mood among seasoned market observers. The uptrend, he concluded, remained intact, but important support levels were now coming back into play. These were the 88 period and 100 period exponential moving averages on the 4-hour chart at 50,000 and 49,006. Respectively, along with the 18-period EMA on the daily chart at 49.6, quoting the analyst here. Currently, price trades at around range low and 4-hour 55 EMA, which typically is a near-term trend inflection point, meaning momentum picks up soon. Buyers and sellers likely to fight here for control. What else is new? It seems there is an endless war between good and evil, and bulls and bears, just saying. And I wanted to quote Bukele. He recently gave a speech, which was pretty lit, and he said some very awesome things, and I'm paraphrasing because I watched some of the interview, and then I'll share the quote on the screen right here. But he said something along the lines that why do we allow George Soros to control politics when no one gave him permission or no one voted him in? And he doesn't allow that in El Salvador, and that the El Salvador economy and people are safe from that mofo, George Soros. So respect for that paraphrasing quote. He also shared, why do Americans pay taxes when they can just print unlimited amounts of money? And this is something very true. I ask myself this all the time. He also says the real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. So respect to Bukele, and he gave the speech in English, which I appreciate considering typically when he does the speeches in El Salvador, it's in Espanol. So nonetheless, if you missed the speech that he gave at CPOC in the United States, I believe it was just last night, check it out. It was pretty lit. And with that being shared, family, welcome everyone joining the stream. Holla at your boy. Over 200 in here. I smashed the like on both my accounts, and we only have 60 likes. That is fiat. Get them. Likes up. Fam, JB bringing in good content. Well, I appreciate that. It's actually a great idea. If you have 2 devices or 2 accounts, you can multiple like it and do all that. It can only help. I appreciate it. But yeah, also, there's probably a percentage of you who don't like the stream only because you're not logged in. So FYI, you got to log in to your YouTube account, or at least create a YouTube account if you don't have one, to help with the stream. It helps out tremendously, family. I appreciate it. I don't understand TA, but I know everyone's buying and there is not much to go around. That's the beauty, Jurrien. You don't need to understand TA. Honestly, not many people do, including your boy. I cover it because everyone always wants to hear it. But the reality, I just focus on the bigger picture, supply, demand, right? When you have more buyers all wanting to buy and massive inflows and very minimal outflows and very few people willing to sell, because 80% of the Bitcoin supply is now in the hand of the long-term hodlers, numbers go up, hence number go up technology. Very simple. And vice versa. If everyone's dumping Bitcoin and there's limited buyers, the price goes down. So what's going to happen in 55 days with the Bitcoin halving, the daily issuance, the daily supply being awarded to the miners gets slashed in half like a samurai. Bam. You know what I mean? You want to hear that again? Bam. And then what's going to happen? Supply shock. So bring it. Like, share, subscribe. The free thing you can do to help the stream, 100% free to do so. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see. It looks like 50,000 support's about to get tested here soon. So let's test it on a positive and let's pump right up back to 55 G's instead of new high for the year. The current high is 53. Appreciate it. Gold is pumping. That's interesting, right? The other day, who was it? Kiyosaki predicted 1,200 per ounce for gold. So he is actually bearish, and he's a long-term proponent of gold and silver. Have US dollar on Coinbase wallet, and it won't let me buy anything or swap. Damn, I feel like it is trapped. I reset all the apps and did what it said to do online, but nothing. That's alarming. I wonder what's going on there. Maybe try on a different device. Maybe if you're on a computer, try on mobile or vice versa. You could also reach out maybe to Coinbase support, but I know how difficult it is to get a hold of anyone on any of the exchanges. And also be careful. Never search for support on Google. You'll find a phishing scam where they pretend to be Coinbase support and they'll try to take all your funds. This goes for every exchange. Just hodl. There you go. Maybe it's a sign from above. Don't touch anything. Just hodl. Good morning, relaxing. Good to see you, broski. Shout out, Jose. Good to see you, broski. 35 million inflows yesterday and the day before. That's why we drop in a little. No worries. Gold is up $9. Do I have my drum roll? Where we at? A little late to it. Use a friend's device, not your own ones. Yeah, try it. Just see if it works. It's testing around 50,700. If it goes below that, we'll test 49.8. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate the insights. Who cares if it drops? Good point. It's like, is that going to change your mind over the long haul and how you think about Bitcoin? Absolutely not. What if it's the ECB FUD? We're going to be touching upon that as well. They say Bitcoin has no value, 0, and it's bad for the environment. Whatever you say, ECB, whatever you say. How do you buy Bitcoin? No KYC options in the States. So you're asking, how do you buy without KYC? I don't know, because all the major exchanges are required to KYC. I don't know if you can do it peer-to-peer. I don't know if you can use an ATM. Just thinking out loud. Gold bugs rejoice, Daddy-o. Peer-to-peer, you can offer services and get paid in Bitcoin. A great alternative outside the box way to stack sats. Cash App. Shout out Cash App. They probably require KYC, I would imagine, though. I don't know if he was asking without KYC, but there's a lot of options to buy Bitcoin in general. Yep, that's one of them. Swan is another. PayPal, I don't recommend, but they also sell Bitcoin. I just hate PayPal. It drops, stack more. That's the name of the game, Kuz Dog. Glad to hear you figured it out, family.
Had the people on my back to get a song. Reds broke, have a talk, we smoked them like a bomb.
Yep. Local Bitcoin is no longer available. I know that used to be the bomb diggity when I got into Bitcoin. It was like a peer-to-peer way where no matter what city or country you're in, you can find another individual and trade peer-to-peer. Wonder why that got shut down. Yeah. Use cash. The more it is cold storage right away. Cash App. There you go. No dry powder this week. Shoot. Jennifer's finally tapped out. About time. Bit2next, no KYC. You got to do more dog sitting. Whatever it takes. 49,000 probably today, says Phil. We shall soon see. But anyways, fam, next story of the day. Let's break this mofo down. Trump was asked about Bitcoin. So this is actually quite interesting. Let me know if you saw this. Yeah, I'll just break it down. Former U.S. President Trump changed his tune on Bitcoin from making anti-Bitcoin statements and calling it a scam. During his tenure as president, Trump now says Bitcoin is something he can live with and acknowledges its growing demand. Now, the way they pitched it to him, they pitched it in a very positive way, like, Mr. Trump, something making great strides is Bitcoin, and it's great, it's decentralized, and he really couldn't say anything bad about it, which is a good look. Because if he did say something bad about it, it would just too obviously show you who he is loyal to. What we know, it's the dollar. He has said before, Bitcoin undermines the US dollar, so therefore, and here he's ultimately saying he only believes in one currency, and that's a strong dollar. And we all know the dollar is not strong. We all know the dollar is crap. We all know the dollar is about to fall apart. But remember, he serves the people who ultimately print the money. And his job, which is why he was elected president and why he is still in the public eye, is promoting the US dollar, ultimately the Fed and the central banking cartels, which he is a part of. So you got to keep that in mind. But anyways, during the recent interview on Fox, Trump was asked about his views on the rise of Chinese digital currency and whether the right way to counter it is through decentralized currency networks such as Bitcoin. Trump, in response, noted the US dollar is still the top currency for him, but at the same time acknowledged the growing popularity and adoption of Bitcoin. Quoting him here, I like the dollar, but many people are doing it using Bitcoin, and frankly, it has taken a life of its own. You probably have to do some regulation, as you know, but many people are embracing it. And more, I'm seeing people wanting to pay Bitcoin, and you're seeing something that is interesting. So I can live with it one way or another. Well, of course he can live with it because they can't get rid of it. But trust that if they could, they would have a decade ago. Trump's recent change on stance towards Bitcoin deviated from his earlier views when he was president. At the time, Trump denounced Bitcoin, calling it a scam, and reportedly ordered the Treasury Secretary to go after Bitcoin. Whoa, who's that? Janet Yellen? Binance? Trump is currently campaigning as a candidate in the upcoming 2024 U.S. presidential election, and some people in the crypto community believe his recent change in attitude towards Bitcoin could be politically motivated to attract more votes from the CR. Many users on X believe Trump cannot afford to neglect the growing community in crypto. A few others also pointed out that he is just doing exactly what Trump does best. He doesn't fully commit one way or the other. Crypto proponents believe Trump purposely dropped a pro-Bitcoin sentence, followed by a pro-US dollar sentence to gauge opinion. People compared it to a fishing mechanism to see what direction is most amongst the voters. And over the years, many politicians have used crypto in their campaigns as a way to attract new generation of tech-savvy voters. Trump is currently the frontrunner for the Republican Party presidential nomination, and fellow Republican Nikki Haley trailing the former president. So what are your thoughts on that? Let me know if you actually saw the video where he was asked about Bitcoin. I read for you word for word what he said. So let's see some of the comments here. Cash is trash, but Bitcoin is an asset. Quoting the great Robbie P. Shout out Robbie P. 100% with you on that. Trump will capitulate. Bitcoin will win. And you guys see recently they ordered Trump to pay something crazy like $350 million in this crazy lawsuit from something that allegedly occurred 30 frickin' years ago. So, however, I read an interesting article the other day on Trump and how he is going to profit $4 billion just from running as president in 2024. And it's due to True Social, competitor of Twitter/X, in which he has a tremendous amount of shares. So when this IPO goes live, they say he's going to profit $4 billion. So the lawsuits, a few $100 million is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And if you find that interesting, what I'm talking about, maybe I'll cover it on tomorrow's show. It's a very good article published on all of the math, on all of the things he has to pay and how he's profiting and where all his income sources are coming from running for president. So we're all stuck on, oh my God, they're shaking him down for a few $100 million, in which they clearly are. But at the same time, he's a smart man. He's going to be making billions upon billions of dollars from all the attention he'll be getting for running as president. We'll vote for him, says Jamasito. Need some more drums. Yeah, I mean, the only drums I got right now is it's kind of limited. We're taxed at 78% per dollar. That means that our dollars were at 22 cents. There you go. We get taxed for everything in the U.S. It's a sham. That's how we remain enslaved. So just a little thinking out loud. Back in the day, the slaves had chains and, they whipped them, and it was very clear they were enslaved. Nowadays, the average American and just individual in general is enslaved, but they don't even know it. And that's what's sad. You know what I mean? Very sad. They don't recognize that taxation is theft. They don't recognize we're in a matrix. They don't recognize they're supporting their oppressors. They just don't even get it because they think they're free. Let the people believe they're free. They can vote Democrat or Republican. They're free. We don't choose these candidates. You know what I mean? Did we choose Biden to run? Did anyone choose this guy? You know what I mean? It don't make sense to me. And even if someone we think should win actually wins, they can just say, no, this other person won, and they can just pump their votes up, just like we saw in 2020. So is there really free choice here? I don't think so. On one item, we could pay tax multiple times. Exactly. And we're getting taxed on the same money that you're paying taxes for. If it moves to me, my hands, I got to pay taxes on it. It moves to and so on. It's infinite, perpetual cycle of infinite tax. That's what keeps you enslaved and impoverished, making it virtually impossible for you to come ahead. That's why I respect Bukele so much for giving that speech and calling out the government. Like, why do they need you? They obviously don't need your tax dollars. They just want it because they want to keep you down. They can print unlimited money. We're already 34 trillion in debt. I hate politics. It's a coin flip here, two parties. What you going to do? Yeah, it's rigged. Is the bigger picture, uniparty. There you go, Daddy-O. Vote for the right orange guy, whoever is more orange that day. What do you call someone with no Bitcoin? A bit poor. Dupley party excludes libertarians. What up, what up? I really like Trump. He did a fantastic job as president for the most part. He did catch my joke. I did. That's actually funny. A bit poor. I agree with you, says Jamasito. Power to Bitcoin. Power. Fight the power that be. 100%.
Oh yeah, we heard Kramer report that.
Yeah, inverse that Kramer.
Thank you. He said, we bought more bags, till we got a sword back.
JV thinks Crypto Surge needs a wrench mod. Oh yeah, I could give Crypto Surge. I love Crypto Surge. We're going to dominate. Everyone here is going to be a mod before you know it. We got so many OGs. We need all the government purchases to be done on the blockchain. I mean, please. I know they'll never want that. They don't want transparency. That's why they fear Bitcoin. Sleepy Joe loves war, of course, because his handlers are profiting tremendous amounts of money from it. All war does is give them more control, more power, and more prosperity. And when I say they, the controllers, the powers that be, right? And it just makes more poverty, it creates more death, destruction, and all the negative things that a fiat Ponzi scheme currency perpetuates, which is all the above. Whereas Bitcoin brings peace, just like we see in El Salvador, got rid of all the violence and it's changing everything, becoming the safest nation in the Americas, one of the safest nations now on the planet. Pound the like button. JB asked Saylor. I always ask Saylor. He's like my go-to financial advisor here.
Wall Street is fraud, America is fraud, the world is fraud.
My bad. That's not Saylor. That's Max.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin.
Who do I think will win? I mean, is the only options? Who are the options? Is it just Trump and Biden? Is RFK still in the race? I prefer independent. I honestly don't trust the Democrat or Republican Party. In my opinion, Democrats are just openly corrupt, like to the max. And the Republicans are all corrupt, in my opinion, as well. But it's not like open. It's, beneath the surface. You got to see kind of like the Republicans will tell you pretty much what you want to hear. So it's like, oh, we got to vote Republican. But at the end of the day, two sides of the same evil. I feel that's how they control the world. And I don't trust either side because both sides are corrupt and both sides are going to be anti-Bitcoin. Let's just keep it 100. Both sides are anti-Bitcoin. I don't care what Trump just said in that speech to try to gain some popularity. They are anti-Bitcoin because remember who they work for. Of course, Bitcoin separates money from state. They don't like that. Let's keep it real. What the ECB says about Bitcoin is how they all openly feel about it. And we're going to discuss that here shortly. So I honestly don't think, I don't know. I don't think either is the solution. Bukele is not running in America. So who do I vote for? I don't vote. I prefer RFK. I just gave $50 Bitcoin to my daughter. Nice. Let's go. Putin Crouton wants Big Joe to win. RFK is still in the race, but he has no traction. A Dr. Shiva, another independent. I mean, the ones that are not bought and paid for are going to be, in my opinion, independent. If you're running as a Republican or Democrat, I believe you're paid for regardless of what the media tells you. They're like, oh, he funds it himself. He's rich. Whatever you say. I don't believe that. Democrat and Republican parties are both bought and paid for positions. You owe favors if you are, elected, let's just say. No new wars under the orange man. The wars suck. We got to get rid of the wars for sure. But anyways, fam, next story of the day. Let's discuss the ECB, European Central Bank FUD, which hit us the other day. European Central Bank officials blast Bitcoin, say the fair value is still zero, even after the ETF approval. Shows you how much they despise Bitcoin because it's going to put them out of business. Officials of the ECB are not convinced Bitcoin is a valuable financial asset. Go figure, despite the U.S. approval of an ETF. Now, the ECB is the central bank of the European Union countries that use the euro as their currency, and their leader, Lagarde, is a criminal herself. So it's ironic here. In a new blog post, ECB Director General Ulrich Binzale, the advisor Jurrien Schaff, what names these people have, say the decision of the US SEC to greenlight Bitcoin ETF apps January 10th does not change the fact that the crypto asset is not a suitable means of payment or as an investment. So for them to tell you it's not a suitable means as an investment when it's the best performing investment in human history just goes to show you how not incompetent, but how corrupt these motherfuckers are, if you know what I mean. Quoting them here. For disciples, the formal approval confirms the Bitcoin investments are safe, and the preceding rally is proof of an unstoppable triumph. We disagree with both claims and reiterate that the fair value of Bitcoin is still zero. Sound like a sore loser that just can't accept defeat. You know what I mean? Now, they also say the Bitcoin is hardly used for payment, except by criminals who use it for their illicit transactions. Don't make me play the Jamie Dimon criminal song, family, because I will, and I will sing along, quoting them here. Bitcoin transactions are still inconvenient, slow, and costly. Outside the dark net, the hidden part of the internet used for criminal activities. It is hardly used for payments at all. Try telling that to Bukele in El Salvador, where Bitcoin is a legal tender. But anyways, we all know the most illicit currency ever used for illicit activity is the dollar. They say like 80% of every US dollar has like traces of cocaine or something like that. It's wild. They say the Bitcoin is neither a good investment and warn that the mining of crypto continues to cause massive environmental pollution. Like the powers that be that print the money care about the environment. Isn't it hilarious? Quoting them here, it does not generate any cash flow unlike real estate or dividends and other commodities we control, and offers no social benefit like gold jewelry or subjective appreciation based on outstanding abilities, such as works of art. The mining of Bitcoin using the proof of work mechanism continues to pollute the environment on the same scale as entire countries, with higher Bitcoin prices implying higher energy consumption as higher costs can be covered by miners. We all know this is not even true. So again, it just shows you how weak they truly are and how scared they're shaken in their pants right now. Venture capitalist and former Coinbase CTO Balaji responded to the statements by sharing a long-term chart of the Bitcoin/Euro pair on X. As you can see here, the Euro has collapsed against Bitcoin. It's down 99.35%. That's all time. And we're just getting started. Eventually, it'll be down 99.999. Add a few more nines in there, if you know what I mean. Charts don't lie. Check this out. So that means the Euro is done, kaput. And they know that. And Bitcoin destroyed it. And so now they're, like I said, they're sore losers. They can't accept defeat. Shout out to Zero. Appreciate you just gifting 5 members the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. So shout out Boz, Matthew, Wealth, Tan G, and Terran Squirt. You've all been blessed. So please thank $0 Giro. You're awesome, brother. Appreciate that. Much love, much respect. Dollar, arms, drugs. Exactly. You already know, Laurel. I vote by turning fiat into Bitcoin. That's all you need to know. That's how you do it. I like that. I like it. Damn corrupt rich 1%. Lagarde is crooked as heck. Yes, of course she is. At the top levels, they're all crooked. They just want you to believe they're incompetent, don't know the stupid decisions they're making, but no, they're criminal, right? Jamie Dimon's song, where you at, broski?
Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals,
Drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. Yeah, man. Bukele explains the state of the country, comparing El Salvador to the USA using a metaphor of the frog in the boiling water. That's deep. CPOC convention in Washington, D.C. Thank you for sharing, Jose. Yeah, man. Bitcoin is making Europe trips cheaper. Preach. Where's my green name and a star? I don't know, relaxing. Yeah. And that track is by Jonathan Mann. Great track, by the way. One of my favorite Jamie Dimon jump-offs.
criminals,
Drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. Yeah, man. Wild. ECB. Who respects the ECB or even cares about their opinion? It just goes to show you that we're on the right path. If anything they're an enemy of, we're going to support. Anything they support, we'll be enemies of, because that's how we roll. Love that song, Serge. It's classic, man. I'm on YouTube where I'd play more. Like when I go to Rumble, we play that and we jam out to it. But you already know. Yeah, I saw the Bukele thing in the morning. Pretty lit. That's why I retweeted it. Good stuff, Zero. I appreciate your family. Let's dive into our next story of the day, shall we? Where did we leave off? We did the ECB FUD. Now here's the latest from the Giga Chad, Michael Saylor, the one and only. And speaking of Michael Saylor, here's a little clip.
Right. The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever,
Laura.
Take off.
Forever. Michael Saylor, co-founder and executive chairman of MicroStrategy, the first publicly traded company to put the Bitcoin on the balance sheet back in 2020, revealed that he and the company he spearheaded until recently would be buying Bitcoin forever. Shout out Barack Monfils. I appreciate the super family. Doubling down on his stance as an advocate for the leading digital asset. In a brand new interview with Bloomberg on Tuesday, MicroStrategy former CEO said he would not sell his or his firm's Bitcoin holdings, despite the stash recording an unrealized profit of roughly $4 billion. And that's right. For those that don't know, MicroStrategy holds roughly 190,000 Bitcoin. And also, Saylor has a personal stash not connected to the company. And I think it was a few weeks ago, he actually announced he was going to be buying Bitcoin every single day for 120 days straight for his personal stash. So you already know. I can only imagine what his personal stash is looking like right now. So Saylor said Bitcoin is the exit strategy and the strongest asset. What a great answer if someone asks you, what's your exit strategy? Bitcoin is the freaking exit strategy. The crypto has emerged as a $1 trillion asset alongside names like Apple, Google, and Microsoft. However, Bitcoin is not a company, so it's competing with asset classes like gold and the S&P. Quoting him here, there's not enough room in capital structure of those top 10 companies to hold 10 trillion or 100 trillion worth of capital. So Bitcoin is competing against gold, which is 10x what it is right now. It is competing against the S&P index, and it's competing against real estate, a 100 trillion plus asset class as a store of value, which means we can grow another 100x, family. Send it, as we're only at a 1 trillion right now. The MicroStrategy founder believes that capital will keep flowing from gold and other asset classes into Bitcoin because the digital currency is technically superior to them, as he shares here. That being the case, there is just no reason to sell the winner to buy the losers. Love that. I mean, why would you sell the apex predator for the tulip mania Ponzi scheme fiat currency? Just saying. Saylor's comments come 2 months after he called the recently launched spot Bitcoin ETFs the most significant development on Wall Street in the past 30 years, comparing them to the historical creation of the S&P 500 fund. And as one of Bitcoin's strongest proponents, Saylor began accumulating Bitcoin back in 2020, making MicroStrategy the first publicly traded company to hoard the asset. And after the firm's last purchase of 850 Bitcoin, which they announced took place in January, their stash is now roughly 190,000 BTC, bought at an average price of 31,000 each and worth more than 10 billion at the current prices. So he has roughly 6 billion worth of dollar cost averaging over the past 4 years, putting them roughly 4 billion in unrealized gains. Meanwhile, Saylor predicted in December there would be a surge in Bitcoin demand in 2024, and his forecast is playing out. Currently, the Bitcoin demand from the spot Bitcoin ETFs is almost 10x the supply available for miners. This has also contributed to the latest surge in the Bitcoin price action. And we know having roughly 55 days, supply gets cut in half again, which is going to make it 20x the daily demand versus the supply. Let's go. Bitcoin equals infinite value. That's right. So ultimately, James Cito, Bitcoin equals Ethereum's total supply, which is the infinity sign on CoinMarketCap. Gangster banksters. Pretty much, Leroy. Of course, they're gangsters. Don't get it twisted. Shane Sullivan, appreciate your support, family. God bless, keep stacking, and welcome to the MicroStrategy. Becoming a member of the channel. Much love, much love. Grayscale's doing another sell. Oh no, always dumping. It's crazy. Barek, 190,000. Damn. And check this out. The ETFs, BlackRock, just the top guys, they now have over 200,000 Bitcoin. It only took them, a month and a half? So they just achieved in less than 45 days what it took MicroStrategy to achieve in 4 freaking years. So it's going to get lit. JB, would you take care of cancer if you had it? How would I? Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'd never do chemo. I would never do what the mainstream recommends because their objection ultimately is population control, which is to kill you. So I absolutely wouldn't do that. I'd find every alternative means. I'd study Dr. Sebi. I'd study all the doctors who have cured cancer before, many of which who have been murdered and assassinated. I wonder why. So yeah, there's a solution to everything. God gave us solutions. There's so many things. In fact, in my Discord, I think it's for like Patreons, but I actually have a health group, and I actually share many of the cures for cancer. There's actually many of them. Some of them are exotic fruits, but I am on YouTube, so I'll shut up about this topic. Ask me again later on Rumble. And sorry to hear that if you do have cancer. It is really not Grayscale. It is the people under Grayscale that are selling. Exactly. They're probably getting out of Grayscale because the fees are ridiculous. It's 1.5% per year versus if you can have it. I think BlackRock lowered their fees to 0.2%. I know Kathy Wood's company is around that mark too. So yeah. And there's also, mushrooms as well. chaga mushrooms. Step 1, don't smoke cigarettes. Great advice there, Craig. And don't drink beer either. Make sure there's no alcohol in your body. You want to have an alkaline body versus an acidic body. And of course, everything we're consuming, especially if it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of it is acidic. Grayscale going to 0. What up, Donna Circerella? What it do? Now, I also got to share a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, so I really shouldn't give health advice. I just happen to be into health. So I always encourage everybody to seek professional opinions from doctors, but you may have to see 30, 40, 50, 100 of them until you find the right one. But I'm just saying, seek professional advice. Don't take my advice. I'm just a YouTuber at the end of the day, conspiracy theorist. So shout out Zero, just gifted another 5 memberships. Shout out to Nugent, Mo11, Abdel, Skins. I appreciate you gifting more memberships. You're incredible, brother. That's 10 from you already. Welcome to all the new members. Don't do drugs. There you go. Also, man, yeah, I actually got to shut up on the topic, but yeah, it's a topic close to my heart. Damn, I drink alcohol. Yeah, you want to avoid alcohol because it's so acidic and your body can never heal in its natural state as long as you have alcohol floating in your body. That's something I learned from Dr. Sebi, reading his books. Acidic environment causes cancer. Precisely. Cancer, I hear, cannot grow in a alkalized body. So you want to keep your body as alkalized as possible, family. Uniswap profits, we all need you geniuses to stay healthy mentally and physically. Amen. Save it for Rumble. You got that. Smart advice, K-Jam. That's why you're a mod. Thank you. Number 1 channel for the crypto news. Appreciate that, Shane. Info for, Spycraft. Toxic. John, welcome. Zero is on a row. Damn right. Dr. Sebi is the GOAT. Rest in peace, brother. I do lots of fasting to prevent cancer. I don't many 8-day fasts. Nice, Dirty. Fasting is great as well. I only drink water and don't even take cold medicine. Love it, Lisa. I haven't been to a doctor in 15 years and I'm healthier than ever. Go figure. That's what's up, Juan. I don't recall seeing a doctor for me personally since I was in middle school and was required to participate in sports and things like that. So yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for that industry just because it's so corrupt, just like everything else. Just like the financial industry is so corrupt with central bankers. Unfortunately, the doctor, it's the blind leading the blind. And Big Pharma runs ish in the name of profits. And it's profits over health. And they can't patent anything that is natural. So they push drugs instead. And typically drugs will destroy you. Typically, right? And you may take the drug for one reason to fix something, and then it causes a plethora of other problems. I know from firsthand experience watching my father die from being prescribed medicines, which were drugs, and things that did nothing but deteriorate his health over the years. And he passed young. May he rest in peace. That's because he had too much faith in his doctors. He had too much faith. And because I wasn't a doctor, he didn't really respect my advice. I was a young JV. Dr. Sebi would have been a Bitcoiner. Facts. He'd be selling his CMOS for Bitcoin only. The internet will never be a thing, you mean? Yeah, exactly. No doctor since 14. Love it, fam. Thanks, JV. Hope everyone's doing well. You're very welcome. Good morning to your friends. Happy hodler. Welcome. Happy Friday, family. We're back above 51. That's cool. But anyways, our next story of the day, let's discuss this $150,000 target this year in 2024 by Thomas Lee, shall we? Shout out Tom Lee, by the way. Speaking on CNBC's Squawk Box a couple of days ago on the 21st, the American entrepreneur said he thinks Bitcoin price will reach $150,000 per coin this year. That's a modest 3x. What do you guys think? Lee cited 3 reasons for his bold prediction, which would involve the asset moving 190% higher than the current levels. Quoting him here, you have demand improving with the new ETFs, you have supply shrinking with the halving, and if monetary policy eases, which we expect, that's supportive for risk assets. That's right. And quoting Saylor, Tom Lee says Bitcoin is sound money and shares his price predictions. The comment comes as Bitcoin appears to have reached resistance at 52 following a 30% rally over the past month. However, Lee appears unfazed, just blaze, stating the Bitcoin's been holding up, before adding, I do not think a drawdown is going to start that soon. When asked about performance over the next 5 years, he said, it is sound money, and I think it is proving to be useful. It has been a great store of value. It has been a good risk asset, and it also is incredibly secure. Yeah, the most secure network on the planet. There hasn't been a single fraudulent entry on the blockchain since its inception, and I don't think any bank can say that is true for their accounting. Preach. Lee has been a long time Bitcoin advocate, predicting the asset would reach 200,000 per coin over the next few years. 4x from here, pretty modest. In the same interview, co-anchor Andrew Sorkin was ridiculed for thinking that a store of value needs to stay at the same place, quoting Magoo. Moron of the day goes to Andrew Sorkin for thinking a store of value needs to stay at the same place. So yeah, very interesting. And quoting Emperor here, Bitcoin price update, previous month, January high remains very important retest level. I'll give you some of the insights here. This level was retested as support after the breakout before the push, the 53,000, which is currently the 2-year high family. He also wrote number 2, range low on the lower time frame has been swept right now. Let's see if this liquidity is enough to push the price further. Range looks ready to break with Coinbase spot books being ass heavy right now. Number 3, confluence of the Fibonacci zone makes the 49,000 level stronger. Number 4, the FRVB of the move up shows to 47,000. This is where a lot of the Bitcoin changed hands before the 50,000 breakout. This is the last bear/bull line. If we break down from this level, then we will be bearish on the higher time frame and likely go to major lows. However, 48 to 49 retest will hold and we continue the pump. So according to this analyst, that is ultimately the line in the sand. As long as we can hold the 48 to 49 level, the pump shall continue. So what are your thoughts, family? Let me know in the live chat. Welcome everyone joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream and let's get it. I'm sorry, can the Chinese guy translate his name to English? How rude. Andrew Sorkin is the man, says 0. McLovin and Phil, help me get my, what does that say? Star. Thank you. Yes. Congratulations, Jamesito, for becoming a star. Everyone with a star next to their name, we call it a badge, star, whatever. That means you're a member of the show and you're supporting Crypto News Alerts. Greatly appreciate that. Good stuff. The goal is to get to 100,000 subs alongside 100,000 Bitcoin price action this year. I have full faith we'll accomplish it. Not even a question. The question is how many hundreds of thousands of subs and how many hundreds of thousands of dollars will Bitcoin be by the time, of the end of the year? Let me know.
Can't short your dork, we can't afford that.
You can't short your dork. We can't afford that. ETFs will gobble up Bitcoin below 50. I agree. Tomorrow is a full moon, either dump or pump. Werewolves. Beware. Back above 51 G's, baby. Thank you. You're welcome. You know we love pumping the stream. Shout out to Zach Hudson. Appreciate you tuning in. CNA is the best place to be. Appreciate that, Matthew. Keep stacking Bitcoin while it's resting. That's right. You have a sleeping giant about to be awakened. New all-time highs, price discovery. Before you know it, we'll be at 70,000, family. And we'll be celebrating. And we're going to go from right now, there's 373 people here on the tube. We'll have 3,000, maybe eventually 13,000, 30,000 people here per stream. Mark my frickin' words. Once we hit price discovery and all eyes are on Bitcoin, we tap 100,000. We're having our fiesta here in Puerto Rico. The world is jealous. Everyone's going to be tuned in. I'm telling you guys. Congrats, new members. Good morning, JV. Chum, welcome, family. You look and sound like a king or a kind person. Thank you, man versus machine. I accept that. Drink alkaline water. That's right. You can drink alkalized water with a 9.5 pH versus drinking dead neutral water, which is considered 7 and below. Most bottled water is all going to be 7 or below, just FYI. They do actually sell alkalized water, and they actually sell machines to alkalize your water. JV, what's your price prediction for the summertime? Summertime in the city. Man. It's a good question. I like to say price discovery, so above 70,000. Exactly where? I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't even know the exact months of the summer. I don't know. But I'm pretty optimistic that we hit 70,000 and enter price discovery in 2024. Woohoo! Caught up on the stream, says DataBiter. A fiesta without alcohol. Hey, I didn't say all that. I was just trying to give you guys some health advice that alcohol is very bad for you. I didn't say you can't drink alcohol at the fiesta. In fact, depending upon the venue, you'll be able to buy your own drinks. So we'll see. Summer is 100,000 party. Potassium bicarborante, 60,000, 70K by the summer. Bring it. 60 to 70, that is June, July. Good to note. Okay, so we got March, April, May, 4 more months. Yeah, we could even be 100 grand by then because it's post-halving. So I'm going to get a little more optimistic for you guys. 100,000 by summer. What do you guys say? Please do not brag. Apple cider. Oh, yes. I actually drink that. I take a swig of the apple cider every day. It helps alkalize the body. It's one of my morning rituals. And I think it's called Bragg's, which is what you just mentioned. So I recommend it. I know self-custody is better, but I now own 1,143 shares of Fidelity ETF, which they say is the equivalent of a whole coin. Well, massive congratulations, Spartan. I'm super happy for you. 130,000 before the halving. Hi, JV. What up, DJ? Mr. Johnny. Just drink lemon water. That's good for the pineal gland. That's another way. There you go, Zero. Good advice. Can we buy drinks in Bitcoin, though? Probably not, because I'm not going to be selling them. If JV was selling drinks and had a liquor's license, Bitcoin only, 10% discount. However, I highly doubt that any place here, any venue we have is going to accept Bitcoin, so probably not. Bring your fiat. Get rid of the fiat. Get rid of the last of your fiat at the fiesta. How about that? When we go now, 48. Well, if we go to 48, then we can drop lower. So that needs to hold. And thus far, we've been holding 50,000. So we'll see, family. I would be happy with 75,000 before the halving. That's a great target, Grant. Shout out, Dimitro. Appreciate your subscription to the #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. But without further ado, now let's dive into our featured story of the day. Fidelity's Jurrien Timmer suggests Bitcoin will reach 6 trillion market cap, which is virtually 6x from today's market cap. And also, he has predicted that Bitcoin can achieve a $1 billion price action, but by the year 2038. So let me break both of these stories down for you. Welcome everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. Greatly appreciate that. Fidelity's director of global macro, Jurrien Timmer, suggests Bitcoin could amass a market value equivalent to a quarter of the monetary gold market, potentially reaching the $6 trillion mark. This prediction hinges on the assumption Bitcoin will continue to cement its status as the digital gold and a viable store value, in which we already know it has. Timmer's analysis draws a parallel between the portion of gold held for monetary purposes, estimated at 40% of all the above ground gold, and Bitcoin. Central banks and private investors hold this share of gold, excluding jewelry for industrial uses, valuing it at approximately 6 trillion. That's right. And following up on the previous threads, here are some thoughts on Bitcoin's potential market share versus gold. In this chart, he shows the value of monetary gold, which is that share of gold held by the central banks and private investors as a monetary asset, which he shared on X. Now, Timmer's forecast sees Bitcoin capturing a significant slice of this monetary gold market, leveraging its current 1 trillion valuation as a stepping stone to greater heights. And evaluating the strengths of Timmer's prediction requires an appreciation of Bitcoin's inherent characteristics that align it with gold's monetary role, such as scarcity due to its finite supply and its increasing acceptance as a hedge against inflation and currency devaluation. Hence why the European Central Bank can't stand it. Just saying. Moreover, Bitcoin's digital nature and decentralized framework present it as a modern alternative to gold, especially appealing to the tech-savvy and younger demographic of investors. However, there are weaknesses and uncertainties in such projections. The crypto market is notoriously volatile, subject to regulatory shifts from the SEC, technological advancements, and the evolving landscape of digital assets. Bitcoin's market dynamics, including competition from other cryptos and blockchain projects, could impact its trajectory. To Timmer's proposed market cap. And additionally, the comparison with gold does not fully account for the complexities of the crypto market, nor does it consider the possibility of Bitcoin being supplanted by another digital asset. Well, I'm going to throw that theory right out the window. Nothing is ever, no other altcoin that comes after Bitcoin, and every altcoin comes after Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the very first cryptocurrency in the world, will eclipse Bitcoin, right? It has achieved what we call escape velocity. There's no such thing as catching up. There'll never be another currency that could have proven itself like Bitcoin has done in the past 15 years, being perfect money protocol in the sense it's the most secure protocol to ever exist, and it's only going to get stronger. And the more mofos like the ECB attack it, the stronger it becomes. So now let's move on to a $1 billion per coin price prediction by the year 2038, shall we? Here we go. Jurrien Timmer once again put forth the notion that Bitcoin has the potential to reach a value of $1 billion per coin in roughly, what is that, another 15 years, fam? Specifically around the year 2038. And to support the forecast, Timmer employed a combination of models and charts with a particular focus on the stock to flow model and his demand model. These analytical tools form the foundation of his primary prediction. Now, if you're not familiar with stock to flow, it ultimately is telling us after the halving in a couple of months, Bitcoin is going to be sitting above 100,000 per coin with a range of 100,000 to 1 million between 2024 halving and the 2028 halving. So extremely bullish. Now, the above demand model, the one you're looking at on your screen, employs what's called Metcalfe's law. And according to this, the number of its users grows linearly. The network's value grows geometrically. This means that the utility, as well as the adoption of Bitcoin, are expected to continue to grow more rapidly compared to its network of users, exchanges, ATMs, and participating retailers. Therefore, this model predicts that Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2030, which is pretty much right in alignment with ARK Invest's Cathie Wood's prediction. And she has even said Bitcoin could hit 1.5 million in her bullish scenario. And even more recently, as I covered on the show, maybe a week or two ago, she says even more bullish now that the ETF inflows are rocking. She says Bitcoin can hit 2.3 million per coin. Now, JV's prediction, I'm a little more bullish than these guys. I think we could hit 1 million per coin by the year 2029. My basis for my hypothesis is it's the year preceding the halving. History shows us we hit the cycle peak. So this cycle peak, maybe in my opinion, somewhere, I think it's going to be in 2025, somewhere between 222,000 and 500,000 per coin. Let's just take the bearish synopsis from my hypothesis and let's just call it 225,000. Now, in order to go from 225,000 to 1 million the following cycle, we're going to have another halving in 2028, the year preceding the halving. Typically, we hit the peak. That would just be another modest 4x. So JV feels 1 million per coin by the year 2029. Let me know if you agree or disagree, family, in the live chat. Now, in contrast, Timmer's stock to flow supply model notes the events of significant price surges during each halving event. Consequently, when considering this model in conjunction with other factors, it foresees a price range of 1 million to 10 million per coin by the year 2030. Send it. Timmer's demand model is more inclined towards reflecting the bottom of the Bitcoin price, but on the other hand, the stock to flow model seems to provide a better approximation for the peak of Bitcoin. However, it's worth noting that the disparity between these two models widening significantly beyond the year 2030. The reason behind this gap is expected to be the changing value of the dollar. Can you say hyperinflation, which will lead to hyper-Bitcoinization, family? So how changes in the dollar value could influence Bitcoin? Timmer proposes the value of the dollar undergoes fluctuations over time when compared to other assets. Facts. For instance, if a dollar was invested in stocks during the 18th century, its present-day value would be roughly $4 billion. Similarly, Timmer implied that if 1 million is invested today, it can grow to $1 billion in a span of 20 years. Yeah, due to inflation, meaning the purchasing power of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to decrease as they continue to print, and they're going to continue to print. And what does that mean? The silver lining, that the Bitcoin purchasing power is mathematically guaranteed to increase. So let's go. This further revealed that the purchasing power of the dollar has significantly reduced due to the factors like inflation and depreciation. Thus, Timmer's statement implied that keeping a fixed amount of dollars for many years may lead to a reduced purchasing power. Hence, the melting ice cube metaphor Saylor has geniusly outlaid for us. So over the last few years, an increasing number of companies are taking over the 1 trillion market cap. We now have NVIDIA, a multi-trillion-dollar company. So what are your thoughts surrounding these price predictions? Do you think the market cap will easily eclipse that 6 trillion milestone this year, 2024, potentially at the peak in 2025 of the cycle? And what are your thoughts on 1 billion per coin by the year 2038? For the sake of humanity, I hope Bitcoin doesn't hit $1 billion. That means the dollar will be worthless. And a lot of people will be in pain and suffering. And there'll be a lot of non-Bitcoiners, but it will be great for everyone at that Bitcoin Citadel. Just saying. What are your thoughts, family? Holla at your boy. And welcome to the Q&A segment of the show. We're still sticking above 51,000. Bring it. Grant Noakes says Michael Saylor is correct that it is better to buy Bitcoin as a separate asset class as opposed to the investing in just one or two stocks like NVIDIA and Apple. I agree. There's only one apex predator, and NVIDIA and Apple can be confiscated. All your wealth and virtually every other asset, commodity, security can be taken from you. The only unconfiscatable asset is Bitcoin, if it's self-custodied. So let that sink in. I think supply shock happens this year. ETFs are sucking up 9,000 Bitcoin per day. We only produce 900 a day. That's 10x. And not all the miners sell their Bitcoin. Good point, Zero. Good point. And the miner reward's about to get chopped in half. All of these bearish. I'm going 1 million this year. Tell him, Barek. And 1 billion by 2038 is a given. Now we're talking. Good to see you still killing the Bitcoin hope alive or keeping it alive. Thank you, Earl. Good to see you, broski. How you been? Daps on daps. Bitcoin ETFs are vacuum cleaners. Yeah, like ant eaters, bro. Just sucking up the ants. Or like JV taking hits from the hopium bong. My predictions, the sun will come up tomorrow. Water will be wet in 2038. There you go. We're holding 51,000. It looks healthy after all these bearish days. I feel a pump coming. Well, speaking of a pump.
Wait for the pump to come, we should have bought that. Crypto to zero, they really thought that.
JV, to be honest, a gradual and steady climb up would be better for everyone except day traders. Yeah, pretty much. Shout out McLovin, bro. I got a fraudulent charge on my bank card, so I penalized the bank by buying more Biddy. Good, because the banks can care less when you get overcharged or you get a charge that don't belong or they mess something up that's not your fault. They can care less. Smoke those dank shards, McFootnader. Yeah, man. OG, pump it up, JV. You already know. Rise to the top, fam. We have in the U.S. Trust and believe in yourself. You can accomplish anything you believe. That's right. You could accomplish anything you set your mind to. Well said, K-Jam. Facts. Tell them.
Again, you can call me 3AC because I'm blowing it up.
Yes, we're blowing it up. JV actually thinks they may hit a super cycle like British Hodl says. 100% possible, man. We're unprecedented times. We know the dollar is doomed, regardless how strong Trump says it is. The dollar is doomed, and Bitcoin is going to do the opposite of what the dollar does at the end of the day. And as I mentioned, the purchasing value of Bitcoin will continue going up as the purchasing value of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to continue going down. So you already know we're on the winning side. I think we are in a super cycle. Bitcoin has been in a 15-year super cycle. If you zoom out, you'll see what I'm talking about. Just look at the charts. Super cycle, 100%. There's never been another asset in human history that has appreciated like Bitcoin has, from being worthless 15 years ago to now being worth $51,000 per coin. It just goes to show you that Bitcoin is the king, hence the apex predator. No doubt. Yes, I am not falling for the super cycle again. What do you mean by falling for? I think that we will go parabolic just after the halving. We typically do. It's typically, I don't know, 6-12 months or even as high as 18 months after the halving, which would mean it could potentially be the latter third quarter or fourth quarter of next year if history is to repeat. Because bear with me, on November 10th, we hit the 69,000 current all-time high. So that's 1 year after the halving in November. And then previous halving, we peaked out in 2017. It was in December. It was around Christmas time, because I remember we hit the 20,000 all-time high. So if history rhymes, it'd be fourth quarter of 2025 all-time high. Said, I appreciate you subscribing to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Only ever orange. Love it. Juan Romero, pure vida to that. What's good, family? Welcome, Raven. Good to see you. True indeed. 15 years in Zoom in. Agreed. Fund managers like stability, and this would attract more traditional investors. Just paid $7 for 2 pounds of grapes. The dollar is dying. Man, that's a good deal over there, Snake Oiler. 2 pounds of grapes here might run me $20. Keeping it 100. Yeah. Organic, $30. Well, I mean, 4-year trend may change. True, it can change. Thus far, we've only had 3 halvenings. So we're basing it off of that. But it can change this year. You never know. We may hit a cycle peak in 2024. Anything is possible, and that's what makes it so exciting. We don't know what's going to happen, but one thing we know for sure, Bitcoin is going to enter price discovery and hit new all-time highs. Where it stops, nobody knows. Super cycle, and we are now living in the flesh. That's right. Snake oil, real or fake, JV? I don't know what you mean by the question. You talk about the username Snake Oil. Do you think Bitcoin will see some volatility in the past, big drops? Always, yes. So I don't know what the drawdown was from 69,000 to 15.8. I'm going to speculate it was 75%. So yeah, we're going to see a massive correction after topping out when we enter bearish winter. You know what I mean? Which would be 2026 and 2027. And then I think 2028. That's if the cycles remain intact, of course. So yeah, expect potentially a 50% drawdown, maybe as high as 60%. I don't really know exactly what it'll be. I hope it's less, but I think it's all going to depend upon the market cap, how strong we climb, and how high the price will take us. Melda, say hi to Luke for me. Luke Skywalker. ECB FUD tactic, of course. It's sad, but it just goes to show you their cards and how afraid they are. And that's a beautiful thing. Let them be afraid. I looked at the tenderloin and the price was $106. Yeah, no joke. Like I was in Costco the other day looking at cuts of meat. I don't eat meat, but I have friends who do. So, but anyways, dude, it was like $100 for some cuts. Like, and that's not restaurant. That's like you buying it and cooking it yourself. So yeah. The prices of groceries right now, highest I've ever seen them. I go grocery shopping, and typically for $300, I'm just like, wow, that's really not that much food. I think it was you, Jennifer, who mentioned you went food shopping and it was $1,800. You got me beat, but you know, I'm single in the sense I live by myself along with my daughter bi-weekly, shared custody. So it's not like I'm feeding an entire family of kids. But if I was, you already know. It'd be $2,000 a week at the grocery store. I don't think the cycle remains intact this time. Too many things are happening that never happened before. Good point, Barack. I'm open to entertaining that because you're right. We're in unprecedented times. The previous cycles, we didn't have institutional FOMO at all. Institutions didn't exist, right? Now we have Wall Street, the central bankers, and everyone embracing Bitcoin, unlike we've ever had in the previous cycles. 1,800, yeah, there you go. Jennifer confirmed it. I'm not making that up. $1,800, 3 people. Now, are you shopping bi-weekly or is that a weekly expense there, Jennifer? I'm curious. Even 300, you're not buying fresh food then? I do. I buy fresh fruit. I buy organic fruits and stuff. I shop every week. And don't get me wrong, I've spent $600-700 at the grocery store. I'm just saying on average, I probably spend $300 a week. And that's just at Costco. I also go to the Supermax, which is more of a local store. So collectively, maybe I spend $500 a week on food. And that's basically for me and a 10-year-old, which I have custody of 50% of the time. So yeah, and little Nipsey, but his food, you know what I mean, not that expensive. I like bananas. Bananas are great. I have a grocery bill of like $30 a week. Come on. So you only spend $30 a week on groceries? Are you eating ramen noodles? Like, how is that possible? I don't know. That's pretty amazing. I'm going to play around. Peace. Enjoy your day. Kuz Dog. Happy Friday. And I'm actually going to end the stream early because I got to go get my cut. I'm overdue here. I think my last cut was on my birthday, but yeah, I got to get a fresh cut here. If you know what I mean. Vacay tomorrow. I'm going to be on the west coast of Puerto Rico. So looking forward to that. But anyways, we're going to continue with the uncensored version for a bit on Rumble. Head on over to Rumble right now. I appreciate everyone's support on the tube. But go to Rumble. It's rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. I always keep a link in the description to keep it easy on you guys. And let's continue with the uncensored version of the podcast. And I look forward to seeing you guys sometime tomorrow in Rincon on the west coast of Puerto Rico. Deuces, YouTube. Head on over to Rumble, and I'll see you there shortly. Peace. All right, YouTube, we out. Let's switch it out. Welcome, Rumble.